was very proud to have them come here and choose to come here. Mike was very good in track and football at high school, and I thought he was going to come here to play football. And if I remember right, after about 3 days into the quarter, at that time we were on quarters, and I met Bob McDougall coming across campus. Bob McDougall was a football coach, and I asked him, how's Mike doing in football? He said, well, he took out a uniform one day and turned it in the next. And I said, what? Yeah, he turned it in. I said, that night when I saw Mike, I said, I understand you turn your uniform in. He said, yeah. I said, why? He said, Dad, have you seen the size of those guys? They'd kill me. And so that's exactly what happened on Mike when he came here. And Graham, I think Graham came here because he wanted to do as well or better than his dad did in track. Yeah. And he did really well. You can't become a national champion without putting in the work, and he really put it in and did a fabulous job on the hurdles. So yeah, very proud of him. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole football thing, yes. I chose not to play football, and they were very large people.
Big dudes.
Very big dudes. But also I had a really good senior year in track. And I just realized at that moment that I could be better running.
You made the better choice because you ended up getting a track scholarship to Georgia, which was wonderful. You got to an SEC school, to Division I. Not many people can do that.
Yeah, so I think it was the right call.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
It was the right call. Yeah.
Well, I think I realized like how fast you were probably once I started getting really into track, probably high school. Because I knew you ran, but I never really knew that he was fast until, I started, you can find the records online, like you can find it all, and, I've talked to you about it. But I mean, it was kind of fun, following in the footsteps and having something to look out towards that I wanted to do that wasn't just like other people. It was connected to me, and I could shoot for that, or I could always talk to him about track, and he knew what he was talking about if I had to talk about something technical. So
Yeah.
that was always a lot of fun, just to kind of have that personal connection to everything. Yeah, I got in real early because I was doing that in middle school, but I got really into hurdles in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was before he did.
When he got down to Georgia, when he left Georgia with a degree, he had the second fastest time in the history of the University of Georgia in the 400-meter hurdles. So
Yeah,
Mike was very, very good.
I think you're still
And
up.
you did pretty well too,
I kept
national
still in the
champ.
top 10, but not.
Yeah. So
I don't
so I guess it sort of runs in the family.
See, I really don't have any. I mean, the name wasn't on the building at that point. So only people that kind of knew me enough where I would actually tell them that what position you had here. So I don't have any stories that way as far as that goes. I mean, your story is the best, how they called you the building boy at first.
Did they really?
Yeah, like the cross country team, they knew who I was, but I didn't run cross country. They just knew who I was because I was going to run track. So I was just known as, a couple of people just knew me as the building kid because that's my name on the building. Or, some of my closer friends, if they ever had something, like if they, didn't turn something in or they got in trouble with the class or something, they'd be jokingly like, oh, you know people, like, help me out. I'd be like, yeah, nothing too crazy ever. I mean, every time I was doing attendance to start a class, the teachers would always be like, is there any relation? And I would always just say yeah, and then that was it. But
I actually do have a spot. It's going way back when one of my favorite spots when I used to go to school here, and I told you about it when
the
you started here.
courtyards?
In the IC building, right? The big brown thing over there.
The Berg.
Do they still call it the IC building?
I think it's the Berg.
Is that the Berg you were talking about?
That's a bird.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the hallways go down both sides, but in the middle, if you go down some of those cross hallways, there's some courtyards in there that are open. Are they still open?
Yeah, they're still open.
Okay.
All the way up.
And so in between classes, you could go in there, and nobody ever goes into these things. There'd like be a picnic table out there, or like some of them had a little hill, and you could just go in there and sit, and the sun would come through, and you could sit there in between classes and just chill, and nobody was ever in there. So that's probably my favorite spot when I was here. Right now, I like the little courtyard where they do the outside shows in between the art center and the PE building.
Right.
I think it's a beautiful place. But as far as my favorite place when I was here, it was those courtyards. I don't know what you liked.
I mean, I like the courtyards too. When it was nice out, like early fall, I would love going out there. I mean, those are nice little areas, but I really like the new PE building. Yeah, the upstairs, where all the couches are. I mean, that's where we would hang out. Like you said, before practice, you and the team would hang out in the cafeteria. We'd just be in the PE building upstairs because there's a bunch of couches and tables, and we'd be all up there. And I like it up there. It's all renovated, and it's quiet too because it's either people that are like in a sport and they're just doing nothing over there, or they're going to lift, and it's quiet. I want to go on my own time somewhere, but I use it a couple of times, not much though.
Well, okay, and this I don't think you can do anymore because I don't think the hill's really clean anymore.
No,
the SRC.
Yeah, you told me about that.
So right at the entrance there's the stairs that go up next to the SRC building, right? And there was that hill.
Yeah.
And there was like no real landscaping when I was here, right? And when it would rain, we'd grab the trays from the cafeteria and we would slide down that thing on those trays. I'm sure the cafeteria people didn't like it much, but it was a lot of fun.
So now it's all a whole waterfall thing with a bunch of trees and rocks.
Yeah, that would make it difficult.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It just feels normal.
Yeah.
There was, like I said earlier, it feels normal. It always was just going to be where I ended up going unless some lightning bolt came out of the sky and took me somewhere else.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how it's been as far as I can remember, ever thinking about school. It was here, and that's just the family. So there was it never was too crazy to me, and yeah, it was kind of the same way.
And you both did well, and you both got a very good first 2 years of college.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was. And I was very fortunate to be able to watch both my son and my grandson run track at College of DuPage, where I was fortunate enough to be a president. So, yeah.